the cloud chamber. So this is kind of like an explanation for the people that are participating, for volunteers that are participating in the nuclear science merit badge workshop that is gonna happen this Saturday, September 16, at the Palo Verde Energy Education Center. We are very excited that we are gonna have this event. We are gonna host around 120 scouts. Usually it takes a month to fill in all the spaces, but I think in this case for this event it took like about a week. So we're very excited. We're gonna have a lot of scouts attending the event. So what are the instructions for this activity? So these are instructions for the volunteers, but it also contains some information if you are actually planning to host this event. So this is what's gonna happen. So when we start talking about the topic, which is gonna be modern particle physics, and we group this in that topic, we're gonna talk about particle accelerators, and we pick 3 particle accelerators because that's part of the requirements. Then we're gonna have a kind of like a group debrief where we'll be able to talk, the scouts and the activity leaders about what we just learned, and then we're gonna have 5-minute break, and we're gonna come back to the experiment. So one of the experiments that we're gonna have is gonna be the single slit experiment, and I have a video kind of like showcasing, how that's gonna look like. And also we're gonna have another activity to build an electroscope. So for the electroscope, we're gonna have almost everything built in it, pre-assembled, like meaning that the aluminum foil that it's in the middle, and also the wire that hangs from the lid of the mason jar. Some of that stuff is gonna come pre-assembled. So we're gonna provide all the information, all the materials necessary for that activity. But then the next one is to make a cloud chamber. And I think that's gonna be very, very fun because we're gonna be able to see things that we are not able to see usually. So this is kind of like one of the requirements, right? And in the requirements for the Get to Know Nuclear patch for the Boy Scouts is asking you, like the requirement number 4 is to do 2 of the following and then discuss with your counselor 3 different kinds of radiation and how they can be used. So they give us 4 options. For the option A is build an electroscope. Option B is make a cloud chamber. Option C is obtain a sample of irradiated and non-irradiated food and do some experiments with it. And option D is to visit a place where radioisotopes are being used. So we picked the first 2 because I think they are very simple and fun. So we built an electroscope, and now this is the explanation for the actual cloud chamber. And what do we have to do here? Here is just telling us in the requirements for the nuclear science merit badge, we need to show how it can be used to see the tracks caused by radiation, right? And then explain what's happening. So, okay, so for this, can you see? I think this is a petri dish, and they're doing this in a petri dish. If you can see in the drawing there, right? You can see the petri dish right there. We're gonna do something similar. So what we got for this activity, or the logistics on how it's going to happen, is we're gonna have 2 big fish tanks put in on the front of the classroom so everyone can see, one on one side and one on the other side. And we're gonna have some sources inside of that cloud chamber, right? Both 2 cloud chambers, and we're gonna put the sources. We're gonna see, we can see some tracks. So the classroom, we're gonna cover it up, like the glass and everything, all the windows, everything is, we're gonna cover it with black paper. We order a roll of black paper, and so we're gonna cover all the windows and everywhere, right? Why? Because we really need to have a very dark room for when we are doing the experiment, so we have a better way to to look at this. So the classrooms, the windows are gonna be covered. So we're not gonna cover the door windows yet until we have the event, and then we have to remove it because we have some parents that are gonna be attending the event and they wanna see, what we are doing. Probably at that time, we're gonna ask a couple of parents to come into the classroom, and we also want them to experience some of what their kids are experienced. We just have like a capacity limit that we need to meet. So that will be the only issue there. We won't be able to have all parents inside. But yeah, this is gonna be a very, very exciting experiment. So this device, we're gonna have two in front, but we want to be able to do it more interactive, closer like to the scout. So with the cloud chamber, what we need to do is basically a big fish tank, dry ice, and we need to have a source. Also, we need to have alcohol. So we're gonna have all those things to be able to create this chamber, right? And be able to see, kind of like try to visualize the invisible, right? That's what we're trying to do with the cloud chamber. Usually we're gonna try to be able to see cosmic rays, and we're gonna be able to see the trails of particles within the chamber. But we also want the scouts to kind of like, have a better sense of, ownership with this activity. So we're gonna have our volunteers putting some materials in their table. So for this event, we're gonna have a table with 8 scouts, and we're gonna divide it in groups. So groups of 4 basically. So for each kind of like activity or experiment, we're gonna have 4, right? So we're gonna put a petri dish and a paper plate, dry ice, gloves, safety glasses, and a flashlight. So that's kind of like the materials that we're gonna need for this. So what's gonna be the logistic for, doing this experiment or this activity in the table with the scouts? The volunteers are gonna put a paper plate and they're gonna put some dry ice on top. They're gonna use very specialized gloves. And then they're gonna put on top of it, they're gonna put the petri dish, right? The scouts are gonna be wearing some gloves and some safety glasses, and scouts should not handle, touch, or get too close to their dry ice. That's the only thing that we're gonna ask them. Then they will be able to, to put a flashlight on it and check if they can see some tracks, some particles there. So, like I said, the volunteers is gonna install the dry ice on the plate, and like I said, there will be two plates per table. And the volunteer is gonna put the petri dish on top of the dry ice, and scouts will be able to observe the tracks, with the flashlight. So I need to correct that, but yes, with the flashlight, right? So it's gonna be really fun activity for the scouts. So I really hope that they can have fun and make sure that they can be safe. Like I mentioned before, safety is paramount, when dealing with dry ice and equipment like this. So just some important precautions that I would like to go again. Number 1 is handling the dry ice. Always wear gloves or use tongs when handling dry ice because it's incredibly cold and can cause frostbite if touched, with the bare skin. So it's not smart to just touch it with bare skin, right? Also, one of the things that we're gonna do ourselves, like when bringing in the dry ice, is ventilation, right? We need to make sure that we're gonna keep this in a well-ventilated area, so we have a conference room where we're gonna put the dry ice in it, right? Because dry ice sublimates into carbon dioxide gas, which can displace oxygen in a closed space. So we're gonna make sure that we have that area ventilated. Also, for when we move the petri dish into the dry ice, the petri dish in this case is going to serve as a barrier between the dry ice, and the participants to prevent direct contact, right? We don't want that. And also flashlight safety. We need to make sure that we tell the scouts to don't shine flashlight directly into anyone's eyes. And always we're gonna have the adult supervision during this activity. That's why we're gonna have these volunteers that are helping us to make this environment safe. And also one of the things that is very important, right? Emphasize the scouts are responsible handling, right? Like responsible, they need to be responsible of their actions, and they cannot touch any of the materials for the experiment, right? Only the flashlight. They're still gonna wear gloves and safety glasses, but they should not be touching anything. So, and how do we create a cloud effect? Maybe we want to get into that a little bit if we would like to know. First, to create the cloud in the chamber, we need to place the dry ice on, either on the paper plates or, I build these cloud chambers. We put it on the bottom part. And then we either set the petri dishes on top or we place the fish tanks on top, right? And as the dry ice sublimates, it releases this cold vapor that will serve as a cloud. And in order to make it even better, we put alcohol, right? So that's gonna create this amazing cloud in it. So, and also, how are we gonna observe the particle track? So with the flashlights in hand, we are gonna shine them diagonally through the chamber, and we need to watch closely, and we'll see, that some trails are forming. So these trails or tracks are left by high energy particles passing through, right? So the cloud chamber is a very amazing experiment, right? Because it's, visually captivating, but it's also an educational one. And it really gives us this glimpse into what we call the hidden world of subatomic particles. And, you know, I think it's a very, very fantastic way to spark interest in science, right? But also remember, we need to prioritize safety throughout the activity, always following the precautions so, we can enjoy the experiment safely and be able to explore, the mysteries of the universe in a fun and educational way. So, I really appreciate the volunteers that are gonna helping us out this Saturday. To perform this activity is gonna be super, super fun. So hopefully this video is, educational for you and instructional, most of it instructional. So the logistics on what are we gonna do during the event. So thank you so much.